60theanswer.com, on the AM560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. Amy Jacobson here, and our special guest host, I tweeted it out saying, tune in, it's a big mystery. But Governor Rod Blagojevich, former congressman as well, father, friend to all, father of two gorgeous, lovely young ladies. And I love your wife, Patty, and your whole family. It's I'm glad that you survived. Because if you can survive, we got a lot of people when they're going through hard times in their life, they're thinking, well, at least I'm not sitting in prison. Which you did, and I hope I'm not offending you by saying that.
No, I used to be the governor of Illinois and inmate number 408924424. It was better being governor. Food was a lot better. You never have to wait in lines, and you get to sleep in your own bed.
There you go. And it was 2 years ago today you were released.
Thanks to President Trump, who saw something that was wrong and put a stop to it. He didn't have to do it. Doesn't benefit him politically. He just did it because he's a fundamentally very good guy.
And you'd met him before because you did The Apprentice.
One of the best things I ever did was being on The Apprentice and getting fired by Donald Trump. He would later on free me. Even Abraham Lincoln never did that. Fired and freed the same guy.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the Clintons, being a Democrat, from Illinois.
Yes.
And Hillary Clinton responded to the Durham report yesterday, and now she's accusing Fox News of defamation of character, slander. This is malice.
By the way, they've been coming after me again lately, in case you might have noticed.
The victim.
It's funny, the more trouble Trump gets into, the wilder the charges and conspiracy theories about me seem to get. So now his accountants have fired him, and investigations draw closer to him, and right on cue, the noise machine gets turned up, doesn't it? Fox leads the charge with accusations against me, counting on their audience to fall for it again. And as an aside, they're getting awfully close to actual malice in their attacks.
Malice, honey, it's called the news. The attribution was the filing. So
right.
With more on this, let's welcome back to the program former U.S. Representative from Georgia's 9th Congressional District and ranking member of the Judiciary Committee and author of The Clock and the Calendar, a front row look at the Democrats' obsession with Donald Trump, and host of the Doug Collins podcast on the Salem Podcast Network. Good morning, Congressman. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Hopefully, I'm a little bit warmer than y'all are this morning.
Oh, that's for sure. It's only, 7 degrees if you factor in the wind chill, but we'll be fine. We're used to it here. We're hardy. All right, so your response to Hillary Clinton's response to the Durham report?
If it wasn't so sad, it'd just be laughable. I mean, to say that, this is all, the victim card, as you said right there, I mean, this is all just an attack on me. They are just trying to deflect from Donald Trump. No, for the last 30 years, this country has has been, endowed with the gift of Hillary Clinton lying every time she seems to show up everywhere and trying to deflect from her own actions. The truth is, in the filing, it's news. And in the filings from Durham, it showed that, again, what many of us have been saying for years, is that there was a concerted effort between the Clinton campaign, and it does appear even members in complicity of members of the intel community and possibly DOJ to look into Donald Trump because she couldn't beat him. She was desperate. So this is the Trump-Russia hoax that she started. And for her to run from it and try to blame Fox News, that's just ridiculous.
Well, is she going to be held, she and her co-conspirators, are they going to be held accountable for their actions and undermining our democracy? I mean, God, they broke into the White House of a sitting president.
Yeah, you hope so. And that's the part that concerns me the most about this. There's two ways to look at the Durham filings here. And one is that they're building what I'll call an overabundant case against Sussman, which is where this actual filing goes, where he lied to the FBI. And they're saying, look, we have a lot more here. We're going to, you might as well save a trial because we're going to win. And then number two, the other one that I'm hoping is the more case is that they're using that to build a case to then flip and get more information so that they can go after the ones who actually did the hacking, who actually were part of it. Remember, it's sort of funny for Hillary Clinton to say that this has nothing to do with her. When the whole thing started out of frankly, her desire to get past an email scandal. And she couldn't do it. And so she was going to lose. They were behind. This is where this came up in her campaign. And then the other thing is, interestingly enough, President Obama, Vice President Biden were basically briefed in the White House about Clinton's campaign's decision to tie Donald Trump to Russia. This has been known for a while. Durham just continues to show that Donald Trump was right and we were right when we kept saying it.
Do you want to ask a question, Rod?
Oh, hi, Congressman. It's nice to meet you, Rod.
This is our first time together.
Yes.
Morning, Rob.
I sat in prison. I would watch you on Fox News from time to time, and I thought you were a very articulate spokesman for common sense and pointing out how preposterous these allegations against President Trump were and how fake the Russian collusion attack was. I saw through it from the very beginning. I've been in the business, and I know a lot of the players. I was a Democratic governor in America's fifth largest state. I know the Clintons. That law firm, Perkins and Coie, represented me on my political stuff. So the fact that that firm would be enlisted to be involved with a fake dossier to put out fake opposition research and create a fake narrative was very obvious to me. And I commend you for the work that you're doing. Hopefully the truth will be flushed out with this Durham investigation. I know what it's like to be a subject of investigators who are dishonest, and investigating the investigators is very important for us to maintain our freedom. So thank you for the great work you've done. Amy, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, but that dossier was used 4 times to get a FISA warrant.
Correct.
And that's...
There you go. There's a problem right there. I'm going to jump in here. If I apologize, I'm going to jump in. This is one of the other issues. That was used and signed off on by, Superman himself, Captain America, James Comey, and Rosenstein 3 times by Comey, once by Rosenstein, to basically, that's perjury before the FISA court. They're testing that the facts are true and verified, and they were not. And Comey actually admitted that. I mean, it's just that one. The part DOJ covering for itself is the one that I think is going to be the lasting legacy of mistrust by the United States people against its government when they see things like that, where the DOJ basically covers for itself.
Congressman, so there's the Department of Justice weaponizing themselves, trying to criminalize routine political things, following a big lie, getting that fake FISA warrant, and one of the judges on that FISA court was the judge, in my case, Judge James Zagel.
Oh,
did you realize? Did you know that?
Know that?
A lot of the same players. Comey and Fitzgerald, the prosecutor in my case, very close. I think they were connected in some sort of godfather relationship of some sort. Mm-hmm. So it's the same group, and I've contended, and I could still do, that what they did to a Democratic governor at the AAA level, they tried to do at the major league level to a Republican president. And these are scary people, and it's very dangerous to our democracy. And Congressman Collins, doing the work that he's doing, pointing out the dishonesty of it, has been a real step forward. And hopefully this Durham investigation, Congressman, will build on what it's done so far and on the work that you've been able to do, because it's very important for us to get to the bottom of what was, I believe, an attempted coup d'etat, an overthrow of a duly elected president of the United States. If you don't like what he's doing, vote him out in the next election, but don't steal him from the people who elected him.
Well, and I think that's the part that I've been emphasizing all along. Just do the investigation. Hillary, I'll go back to Hillary, and it's sort of interesting. Would you have ever, being a former, Democratic governor, would you have ever thought that there would be a time in which Joe Biden 1 year into a presidency is so bad that New York State is bringing Hillary Clinton back out to speak at the Democratic Party meeting?
Yeah, because that's where she spoke yesterday.
Is that where she was?
Yeah, she was in New York City.
Yeah, that's where she was.
Yep.
Yeah. Look,
I mean,
it's that bad.
Strange. It's that bad that they brought her back out.
Well, Congressman, I was in the Congress in the late 1990s when the Monica Lewinsky scandal blew up. I vividly remember her on television immediately after it came out, calling it a vast right-wing conspiracy. She's dusted off that playbook. She's using it now when she's attacking Fox News and talking about actual malice. I'd be shocked if she brings a lawsuit. She doesn't want to be deposed and be under oath saying certain things. And it turned out that so-called vast right-wing conspiracy was actually truthful. Unfortunately, the President of the United States did have sex with an intern in the Oval Office. And they were lying right from the beginning, and she was part of that lie. And
she's been lying her whole life.
Apparently,
if you think about it.
I think to be that good a liar, you've been doing it for a long time. You've had a lot of practice.
Right.
Well, it's an entitlement. I think that's the part that what is right for me is not right for you. And I think this is the part that is the sort of the ugly side of a lot of what we're seeing in, ranging from not only the Russia investigation to the pandemic to a lot of different things. But this Russia investigation, which again, has been shown over. Everybody, the hard part about this investigation, for those of us who lived it for 4 or 5 years from front row seats, is that this is of a long history. It's got a lot of parts to it, and we'll hit things like this that hit pieces of it. But remember, and real quickly, started the Russia hoax scandal with Clinton and Chloe Perkins and the rest of them started in spring of 16, went into the election when they lost in November, continued when President Trump was into the White House in January 17th, and then ended up, and I'm leaving out a bunch of stuff, but I'm trying to give you an overview for your listeners, ended in spring of 17 with the appointment of Robert Mueller as the special prosecutor. When that happened, then we spent $30 million plus to show one thing that we already had said and known before. There was no Russia collusion.
Right.
This all is a part of it.
So where do we go from here, though? I mean, do we have to wait until the Republicans take over the House in 2022 this year?
You will. I think there's going to be more investigations, especially getting back to it, because we were at the point of, really beginning to show a lot of this when we lost the House, and then I became ranking member next to Jerry Nadler, who had no desire of anything except to get Donald Trump. And so we lost, time as far as investigating some of this. I think you'll see some of that come back up. I am very concerned that the delays in the Durham investigation some of it's going to be more historical novel than it is, unfortunately, investigative indictments. And I'm beginning to be more and more concerned about that because of the pace of it. I can only hope that it speeds up, but right now we're not seeing that.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there today. Doug Collins, former U.S. Representative from Georgia's 9th Congressional District, and you can hear him on the Doug Collins podcast on the Salem Podcast Network, DougCollinsPodcast.com. That's DougCollinsPodcast.com. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great. Y'all take care.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street ending the trading week on edge over Ukraine. Washington set to reveal new home sales numbers and mortgage